The difference between a man and a young man is the young man focuses on the distractions, and the man focuses on the solutions to the distractions. This is Wright Brennan with the Lost in the Midlands podcast, brought to you by Midlands Dumpster Services and C. Wright Roofing. And today I am here with a former collegiate athlete, former professional ball player, a leader of men, and a leader in the community, Angel Guerrero, a.k.a. Coach G. Thanks for coming on, man.
It's my pleasure, man.
So you got some exciting stuff going on. I've heard a lot about the kids that are learning new skills, becoming better ball players and leaders in the community. But before we talk about what you got going on now, I do want to jump into your background a little bit, hear about your beginnings, where you're from, some interesting pieces here, but, playing in college and professionally, that's got to be
Yes, sir.
quite a journey. So where are you from?
So originally I'm from Charleston, South Carolina.
Cool.
A little small town called Goose Creek.
Oh,
I went
yeah.
to Stratford High School. Most of my family my mother's side is from Panama.
Yeah.
And my father's side is from Dominican Republic. So that's where the baseball background comes from.
Okay.
I was not really good at baseball in high school, dude. I was horrible. I was maybe 5'10", 160 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
And I still remember my coach saying, "Hey, man, you're a great young man." I was like, "But," all the time. He told me that you're weaker than a wet paper towel. And
Okay.
I graduated at 5'10", 160 pounds. And I took it upon myself to get in the gym. And within the first year of college, I gained 65 pounds.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So they thought I was using roids, but nah, I wasn't.
Straight protein.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And now I'm 6'4", so we're good.
Wow. God dang, you really did blow up. Holy smokes. So in high school, but you were on the team. You were playing ball.
Yeah.
And then in college, were you on the team in college, or?
Yeah, so in high school, I was a four-sport athlete. So I played baseball, basketball, football,
Wow.
ran cross country.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of wanted to play soccer, but I wasn't that good.
You only got so much time.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. But no, I enjoyed sports to the maximum. And then in college, I went to Morris College, a really, really small NAIA school in Sumter, and then I transferred to Voorhees College.
Cool.
So my first year I redshirted, and I just took it upon myself to just get stronger as a man.
Yeah.
And that's when I gained all that weight. I was eating 6 times a day. Food was my lifestyle.
There you go.
So
Cool. Well, I mean, not only did you grow in size, you must have grown in skill level. I mean, it sounds like, from at some point, something started to click. Is that correct?
yeah, I mean, after my first year, I really took it upon myself to not make everything else about my life.
Yeah.
And then put baseball in the middle. It was, hey, baseball is my life, and then everything else can kind of just fit where it does. And I made sure that every single day I had my regiment. I'd eat my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the morning and eat them at night, and that never stopped. I wouldn't, vacations and stuff like that, it wasn't going. I think when I left high school, I was probably throwing 78, and that's slow right now. But by the time I got to my junior year of college, I was 89, 91.
Okay, that's pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I felt good whenever I hit 91.
Yeah.
Nobody in the world could tell me anything.
Well, what about the competition level? Was it kind of shocking when you get into the collegiate level, just the difference in competition?
I think at the beginning, because NAIA is such a vast, it's a difference, right? So mainly we were playing Division II schools, like Benedict College, Payne, Augusta Regents, some smaller schools.
Yeah.
But it also helped me understand these Division I guys, man, they're different. It's I'm 6'4", 225 right now.
Yeah,
and
pretty big.
Yeah, but those guys are that in high school.
Okay,
So I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, yo, where the heck? How did that happen? What were you drinking?
Yeah.
So I think the thing that really changed was how important the work behind the scenes is. Yeah, that's the main thing. You look at a lot of these pro athletes, and whenever I became a pro, and I know we'll talk about that at some point,
Yeah.
the guys that stay as professional athletes are the guys that do their work behind the scenes, man.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing at all times.
So you've got your, God-given talent, and then, that takes you to a certain level. But then you gotta also continue to sharpen that blade, I guess.
Yeah. And I want to say a big thing for me too is giving the thanks to the Lord, man.
Oh, awesome.
Sometimes we forget about that.
Yeah.
Because when things are great, we're like, we're living on this high road.
Yeah.
And sometimes we only thank him whenever things are bad, for sure. We're like, hey, man, Lord, I know things are bad right now because we want him to just uplift us, but we got to thank him more when things are, when we're not good also.
So you got a spiritual side to yourself as well, and that helps you stay grounded, I guess.
Massive, man.
Yeah.
For my mother, my parents split up when I was about 11, and it was tough. My dad was always there, but his job, he moved a lot, and he was a professional polo player. So
really, wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of athletes, I guess. A little different.
A lot of competition going on in the household.
Yes. And I mean, for the most part, he didn't really get to see all of my games and stuff like that, but he tried his best to check in and stuff like that. And I still appreciate him for the things that he did. But my mom, man, dude, I'm not gonna get teary-eyed, but that woman, the amount of power, mentally, physically, emotionally, she brought to the table every single day for our household. I don't even know if there's words that can be able to fathom, like, how strong you have to be to raise kids, how strong you have to be to raise a man, in a household of all women, and in the world that we live in, man. It's not easy. The things that I do now for my young men is to help them understand that men are viewed by what we bring to the table a lot. And baseball is one thing where you can leave everything on that table, and once you step out of the game, life can be here, but baseball right there at that moment, like you can give everything, run as hard as you can, and you're gonna get another chance because it's a game of error, and it just makes me feel good that I'm able to do that every single day, dude. So,
wow,
yeah,
that's powerful.
Yeah, man,
really cool. This is Wright Brennan, the owner of C. Wright Roofing. When it comes to the maintenance of your roof, you want to know that you have an experienced team that knows what they're doing. And with 10 years in the business, we check all the boxes. Leaky roof, storm damage, or just overdue on maintenance, give us a call at 803-828-4181 for a free estimate. Again, that's 803-828-4181. And remember, our commitment is to roof it the right way. Well, I want to talk about your kids, but let's also, I know you made the transition from collegiate ball to professional. Tell me about that journey a little bit.
So the journey is strenuous, man. I will tell you, mentally, physically, and emotionally, it beats you up. I went in a training camp in the Empire League, and I played in a little of the Canadian League also, and they also have a league up in New Jersey, and I'm talking about you're traveling one day, maybe 2 days a week. The other 5 days you're playing. I went in at 245. Yeah, I was like 240.
Yeah.
I was feeling good. I was pristine athlete, bro. I was a well-oiled machine. Nobody could get in my way. I felt like LeBron James. But I came back home at 205.
Wow.
Just because of how much like the grind was, it was amazing.
So, I mean, you're basically working 7 days a week, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You're either traveling or you're playing or practicing or something.
Yes.
Do you even get time to practice, or just?
That's the thing, man. Behind the scenes, you got. I mean, very, very low on sleep. Sometimes we don't see, like, even with the minor league ball, some of these guys sleeping on the floor, man. It's hard. It's
Do they pay you enough to live?
Heck no.
No. That was a quick answer.
Yeah. No. No, you got to find a way.
So at that point in any ball player's process, you're trying to make a move up from there. Like that's kind of like an intermediate ground. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, that's just the beginning. That's like I want to say maybe equivalent to low A ball. It's low, but I mean at the same time, there's not a lot of people that even sniff it.
I mean, I can imagine that even that jump, you probably saw an additional level of like just the level of competition going from collegiate to that. I mean, that was probably another wake up.
Yeah, man. I mean, the biggest thing is you got guys who I probably the number one hitter I've ever faced in my life. He actually plays AAA now for the Minnesota Twins.
Oh.
Waldo Cabrera. His brother is the utility guy for the New York Yankees.
Wow.
Oswaldo Cabrera. And the most relaxed guy I've ever seen in my life. In the batter's box, I swear, it's the scariest thing.
Yeah.
Because it just turns into something explosive. Boom, like that. And I'm like, how do you beat this guy? And I threw him a slider one time, and he hit the ball far. I hadn't even turned around. I was like, yeah, just give me the next ball. Let me get ready to throw. And then I got him. I struck him out, and he tipped his cap. I was like, yeah, appreciate that, bro. Don't do that again, It's hard.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've lived a life not many people have experienced. So, in all seriousness, those types of, interactions with people in that level of competition. I mean, you see people with a whole different mindset than your average,
Sure.
So at what point did you decide that you wanted to go and start coaching?
Ooh. So I was coaching a little bit at Columbia High School.
Okay.
Before I went to go play. I took probably about 5 months off before I went to play because I really wanted to focus on my training and just getting stronger.
Yep.
At the end of my collegiate career, I was like, do I want to do this? Like,
Yeah.
am I prepared? Because it doesn't just take a toll on me. Actually, it takes a toll on people who are with me. And, at that point, I had been in a relationship for 6 years,
Yeah.
5.5 years.
Wow.
And
Through all that.
yeah, and I was never really home. And then also I had my daughter. So she's 4 now. She'll be 4 in 2 weeks.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, man. She's my everything, and that was another reason why I stepped away. But I stepped away on my own terms.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's like it's so hard to say. It's
Yeah.
Ooh, lost for words on how far I've come as a man. Coaching has definitely shown me something different that, the Lord, he's just like, hey, man, you need to go and help this kid. He may be tough, but you don't realize what he's going through on the inside. And
Yeah, that's the thing about, just from what I see as a coach, you're not just teaching them the skills. You're like, you really do you're showing them through their own tough times. Showing leadership through, you never know what this kid's going through. He comes out here and you make a real impact. I mean, do you feel that as part of, do you feel that when you're out there doing it or?
for sure, dude.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm a person that wears my emotions on my sleeve at all times.
Yeah.
But I don't show it here to the point where I'm like, I'm going to make you feel bad because something's going on in my life.
Yeah.
And that's important for my young men.
Yeah.
But what I will tell you is I used to work at the Department of Juvenile Justice. I was a mentor. Wasn't making a lot of money, maybe $31,000 a year, that was my favorite job of all time.
Wow.
And I think that set me up for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
A kid being behind bars because of a decision that he had to make to be able to get some food.
Yeah.
That you can't put into words. I'm 28 years old. I've never had to find my next meal. But now I can make sure that, if a kid ever tells me, hey, coach, man, I need some help, I got you.
Yeah.
And at that point, those kids behind bars, the only thing that they were looking forward to was me coming to the facility every single day. They couldn't leave.
Yeah.
And us as Americans in this world we live in, man, sometimes we put ourselves behind bars without even, being behind them. And we're holding ourselves back because we're not finding our full potential.
Yeah.
These kids are behind there, and we forget about some of those things. And that's what makes my lifestyle as a coach so important. If a kid calls me and says, hey, coach, I need help, I'm there. If one of my family members does the same thing, I'm there, And I tell my sister all the time, I'm like, I don't think and this is going to sound crazy, man, but I don't think I'm supposed to be on this world for a long time. I think that I'm supposed to touch as many people as I can in a short span. And, whenever it's all said and done, I'm like, hey, I did my job. And it wasn't for me. It was for him, for the Lord, and for the kids.
Well, I'm impressed with the passion you have for your job, man. God almighty.
Yeah, man.
I got goosebumps sitting here listening to your story. And yeah, I mean, gosh, the impact you're having on the community, these kids out here who just don't have anybody in, like you mentioned, locked up or going through something. It's just such a great thing that you're doing.
Yes, sir.
And not only are you teaching them, how to, live, be a man, but tell me, you also have to teach them how to pitch too, right? Like at some point, you got to teach these kids how to throw the dang ball.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that. How's that?
So our training sessions, it all depends on age to begin with. If I have a younger kid, I'll start him off with like a 30-minute session. Kind of see where he's at mentally to begin, and then I see him maybe once a week, twice a week. So my older guys, we can do an hour session, and it's a lot more strenuous. So I've been doing this probably a year and a half now. So it took off probably after like 6 months. I was kind of skeptical. I was working 3 jobs to begin on top of that.
Yeah.
And I still had the little one. She's living life at the same time. So I'm like, I got to make sure that things are going well.
Yeah.
And it's just taken off, man. I see between 13 to 15 kids a day now.
Wow.
So
Holy
days are
smokes.
long, usually about 6 days. And then also when I have my teams, then I'm pretty much working 7 days a week. So
Beautiful.
yeah.
All right. So if somebody wants to get into your program, how do they find you?
Shoot me a text, man. usually a text is the best thing because I'm usually not really on my phone because I'm training with the kids so much.
You can get back to them.
Yeah, dude.
So what's your contact?
My phone number.
You want to put that out there? We don't.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. So my phone number for, I don't really have a name for my thing. Everybody just calls me Coach G or G.
Coach G's number.
Yeah, Coach G's number, 803-645-9619, man. Yeah.
All right. What advice can you give to a young person who's thinking about taking a similar path to you? They want to play college. They're in high school. Aside from come get some really great coaching, what else do they need to be thinking about? They got to eat the PB&Js, obviously, too.
You got to. If I could break it down to maybe 3 things, the number one thing is commitment. Make a commitment to yourself as a young man that every single day when you wake up, there's nobody out there in the world that's going to stand in your way of what you want. Secondly, make it a lifestyle. Don't go about, I'm going to go hang out with my friends and then baseball next. Nah. Whatever sport you're playing, that is the first thing.
Yeah.
We don't take vacations during the off season. Making sure that, your goal is your goal.
Yeah.
The second that you have second thoughts about it, man, that's not what you want.
Yeah.
There's no let me just dip here and dip here. Nah.
Got to be all in.
120. And a lot of people say, don't put all your chips into a cookie jar. Nah, put them all in. Put them all in, dude.
Heck yeah.
All of it, for sure. So
awesome. Fantastic. Well, it's been awesome learning about your program, catching up. We'll have to have you back on down in the future when your kids are playing in the MLB too, so we can have them on.
Maybe one day.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on, man.
It's been a pleasure, man. Appreciate it.
Hey everyone, many thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a follow and click the bell to stay up to date on future episodes, or click the link to watch another previous episode. Also, don't forget to like, share, and please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear your feedback.